welcome to Live Oak Unitarian Universalist Congregation on this beautiful morning. Our congregation is a spiritual home in which we welcome and nurture diversity of thought and beliefs, generosity of heart, and the search for meaning in our lives. No matter who you are on your spiritual journey, what you believe or don't, where you come from, your DNA, how old you are or how young you are, your abilities, whom you love, your education, where you live, what you do, where you work, how you define yourself, your regrets, your successes, your hopes and dreams. You are welcome here. Together we are much larger than the sum of our unique and valuable individual parts. Each person that comes into this community adds an essential ingredient without which we would not be whole. Together we are enriched. And we continue to grow and create sacred space where we encourage one another to search and inquire, to share ourselves, to open our hearts, and act with compassion and justice as we learn about and strive to live our Unitarian Universalist values. My name is Ellen Hamilton, and I am a member of the worship ministry and have the honor this morning of serving as worship associate for members of our Live Oak Sangha Buddhist meditation group who will lead us in worship today. Live Oak Sangha meets every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. here in the sanctuary and welcomes everyone, no matter your experience or your understanding. Beginner minds are a goal. To join them in meditation and in Dharma or teaching discussion. Participants are from our Live Oak congregation and from the larger community. Jan Ross serves as their able chairperson.
Good morning. Good morning. Our Sangha is delighted to be leading the Live Oak worship this morning. We are a group of diverse people, some of us identifying as Buddhists, some of us simply as meditators. All of us find comfort and understanding from our individual practices and our common practice when we get together. Our practice is in the Zen tradition of Thich Nhat Hanh, and we welcome a variety of teachers and writings in our Dharma study. Some of you may be aware that our teacher, whom many of us call Thai, has been ill since November with a cerebral hemorrhage. And I'm happy to report this week, he's been recovering slowly, and this week he is able to return to his home at Hung Village in France. As we approach Earth Day, we are poignantly aware of our Earth's distress. Thai says, we are the Earth, and we are always carrying her within us. May we be mindful of our beautiful Earth as we worship today. We will begin by inviting the bell and lighting our chalice. Please join me as we read the words of Thich Nhat Hanh. They're printed on the screens and in your order of service. May the sound of this bell penetrate deep into the cosmos, and even the darkest spots may living beings hear it clearly
behind the rim of the moon, in long, slow-motion moments of immense majesty, there emerges a sparkling blue and white jewel, a light sky blue sphere, delicately veiled in slowly swirling veils and curtains of white. It's like a gradually rising, small, tiny pearl in the middle of a thick black sea of mystery. It takes but a moment to realize that this is Earth, home. Edgar Mitchell, astronaut, Apollo 14, 1970.
Well, this morning I'm going to share a little bit with you. You heard Jan Ross mention a gentleman named Thich Nhat Hanh. He's one of the teachers that we read from and read about when we're doing our meditation practice. And sometimes meditation, even for big people, for little people, it's probably some kind of weird, kind of magical, mystical thing, and it really isn't any of those things. It's not magical and it's not mystical. What it really is just being mindful and being aware and being right here, right now, right here in this moment. I see a hand. Yes, sir. I can't give you a fist bump, but. That's part of it. That's part of it. See, you guys, you know what? I could have you sit here. What I'm excited about with this meditation I'm going to share with you, if you guys that already know about meditation know that some meditation is just done by yourself, and you just do that inside your head. And sometimes there's meditation that's called guided meditation, where somebody helps you, they'll say something that helps to help you focus your mind. And this, what I'm going to share with you today is a tool that we use for what's called guided meditation. And Jan will be doing some guided meditation for the bigger people later in the gathering. And I'm going to do some guided meditation with you. And what's kind of exciting about this that I like, Thich Nhat Hanh came here to Santa Barbara many times over the past 15 or 20 years and gave retreats, gatherings for people to be here. And what's really exciting about that is on one of those retreats where there were lots of kids like you guys and parents, he created or invented this particular meditation. So this is a Santa Barbara meditation, and he wrote a book about it, and now we're going to do a Santa Barbara meditation. And the cool part that I feel excited about is I went down to the beach on Pebble Point just yesterday, along the same beach where those folks collected the pebbles for their pebble meditation, and I got pebbles for you guys to use for your. So the same beach where they got their pebbles is the beach where I got your pebbles. So that's way cool. So first of all, what I'm going to do is pass those pebbles out for you. So everybody's going to get a little bag, and inside the bag there are 4 pebbles. So after I give you your bag, very carefully pour them out in front of you. You can put them on your lap or right in front of you and just have those 4 pebbles lined up in front of you. Good. Bill, there's one more bag over in front of you. You guys can share for right now. At the end of our service, there's a bowl with a whole bunch of pebbles that I had left over. They didn't have any more bags. So people can make, and big people can do this too. This might be a great tool for you. You can make your own pebble meditation. So you can have those. So put the pebbles right in front of you. And as appealing as these pebbles look, please do not put them in your mouth. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a guided meditation with each of these pebbles. We're going to use the pebble to help us to focus. And you know that big people like this kind of stuff. This is the book. This is called A Handful of Quiet Happiness in 4 Pebbles, written by Thich Nhat Hanh. And Jan will have that information. We could, I guess, maybe put it on the website or something like that. Okay. And there are photocopies of the meditations we're going to be doing, and they're laying in the back. So what I want to invite you to do is, first of all, pick up one of the pebbles and put it inside of your hand and very gently hold it. Put that pebble in the middle of your hand and put your other hand on top of it and just gently rest in your lap. And find a very comfortable position. And close your eyes. And just relax your breathing. Breathing in, I see myself as a flower. Breathing out, I feel fresh. In, flower. Out, fresh. So take that pebble and put it back in the bag. Pick up your second pebble and hold that in your hand the same way. Very gently. Don't grab the pebble. Gently just hold the pebble and then rest your hand on top. Doesn't matter which pebble. Just a second pebble. Breathing in, I see myself as a mountain. Breathing out, I feel solid. In, mountain. Out, solid. Put that second pebble inside your packet. Okay, here's a question. How many pebbles do we have left?
2.
Oh, you guys are too smart.
I have 0.
You have 0. Oh my gosh, you must have put them all back in the bag, huh? So pick up the third pebble, put it in your hand the same way. Breathing in, I see myself as still water. Breathing out, I reflect things as they are. In, still water. Out, reflecting. And take that third pebble and put it in the bag. And then pick up the last pebble. Hold that gently in your hand. Breathing in, I see myself as open space. Breathing out, I feel free. In, space. Out, free. Put that last pebble inside your bag. And pull a little string so that nothing falls out. Hooray. So, who thought... who thought that was hard? Who thought that was, like, easy? If anybody could do that? I bet even the big people here could do that. So, what I would invite you to do is... those are yours to keep, so you're going to take those with you. I would invite you, and then as you walk out, maybe a big person can direct you to get one of these little, there's a copy of this laying back there. You want to take that with you. It has all the words that I just read to you on it. So you really don't have to get the book if you don't want to. So you can just use this. So I would invite you to take this copy, and if you feel comfortable, practice it, and even better, if you could teach the big people at your house how to do this, it might make things a little more comfortable for them, because it's big people are the people that really need a lot of meditation. People that need a little bit of relaxing, a little bit of meditating. Yes, ma'am.
It's a little bit hard to look at, to relax.
Mm.
And I love it.
It's hard, you know what? I think it's hard for everybody to relax because we have so many things happening. The TV and recordings and computers and all kinds of stuff coming at us. So that's why meditation is such a wonderful gift that we can give ourselves and give to our families. We take a moment or a few moments and just sit and breathe and enjoy the silence. And enjoy, and if you want to use a rock, you can use a pebble. If you don't want to, you don't have to. I like to walk along the beach and use the mountains. I like to look at the mountains and look at the ocean, because we're so lucky to live here in a place where there's a beach and mountains and so much beauty. Oh, thank you for that. I just visited my family in Pittsburgh. Yes, thank you for no snow here in Santa Barbara.
Today, Bill Green, Fermina Marion Murray, and I will be reflecting on our Dharma study book called Love Letter to the Earth by Thich Nhat Hanh, or Thai. The highest form of prayer. Prayer is being with the divine, with the sacred, that is our deepest nature and that of the world around us. In whatever way we are drawn to pray, there is a pressing need at this time to include the earth in our prayers. In his book, Love Letter to the Earth, Thai tells us that we can feel a tremendous sense of awe and wonder at the immense energy of the universe. And we might be tempted to believe it was created by a human-like God. Impressed by the powerful forces of nature, we often imagine there is a God behind the raging storms, a God of thunder, a God of rain, or a God controlling the rise and fall of the tides. It is easy to think that this highly creative force could have a human form. Personally, I don't believe in God, but I do believe in this energy of awakening, of peace, of understanding, and of love, which is to be found not only in every human being, but in every species on earth. In Buddhism, we say every sentient being has the ability to be awakened and to understand deeply. We call this Buddha nature. It's important to remember always that Buddha was a human being, like you and me. He never claimed divinity. He merely knew he had the Buddha nature, the seed of enlightenment, and that everyone else did too. The deer, the cat, the squirrel, and the bird all have the Buddha nature. But what about inanimate species? The pine tree in your front yard, the grass or the flowers. As part of our living Mother Earth, these species also have Buddha nature. The earth herself has Buddha nature. Therefore, all of her children has it too. It is because all beings, without exception, have the same nature and potential for enlightenment. We are all endowed with Buddha nature and have the capacity to live happily and with a sense of responsibility toward our mother, the earth. When we worship in this beautiful sanctuary, value to us. We don't need to deify any objects that are here in order to believe or to believe in any particular gods to be together. It's the same when we worship the earth. We simply love, take care of her, and take refuge in her. Think of the times when you walk on the beach or take a hike in the mountains. How your spirits are lifted just by being in an environment where you feel sustained by the trees, the air, or the music provided by the birds. Again, I quote Thai. When we suffer, the earth embraces us, accepts us, and restores our energy, making us strong and stable again. The relief we seek is right under our feet and all around us. If we understand our deep connection and relationship with the earth, we will have enough love, strength, and awakening so that both can thrive. One of the practices we do in our Sangha here at Live Oak is a walking meditation. When we are mindful of what lies beneath our feet and have a connection with the earth, we become aware that our foot is resting upon the ground, the earth. We can visualize the great sphere upon which it rests and feel respectful and in awe. When we feel in trouble and suffer, we often return to our most comfortable place, a favorite spot in the meadow, a path along a stream, the beach, or in the mountains. The comfort of nature is enough to provide the love and beauty we need to restore peace and understanding in our troubled being. The Dalai Lama recommends this prayer. I believe that to meet the challenge of our times, human beings will have to develop a greater sense of universal responsibility. We must all learn to work not just for our own self, family, or nation, but for the benefit of all humankind. Universal responsibility is the key to human survival. It is the best foundation for world peace, the equitable use of natural resources, and through concern for future generations, the proper care of the environment. That also is an important facet of our relationship with the earth, and we need to be aware of that relationship as well. In my view of Buddhism and Hinduism, we don't need to address our prayers or express our gratitude to a remote or abstract deity with whom it may be difficult or impossible to be in touch. We can address our prayer and express our gratitude directly to the earth. The earth is right here. She supports us in every concrete and tangible ways. No one can deny that the water that sustains us, the air that we breathe, and the food that nourishes us are gifts of the earth. So today, my prayer is one of gratitude. A gratitude to this earth, the earth that takes care of me and provides for me. I feel a deep responsibility to take care of her, as I am an integral part of her, and she is an integral part of me. I say I'm part of this interdependent web of all existence. So be it.
I'm going to read 2 pages from Ty's book and then make some personal comments. The book again is Love Letters to the Earth. Returning to the Earth. Many of us wonder what will happen to us when we die. Some of us think that after the disintegration of the body, we will rise up to heaven or up to the clouds. Many of us believe we will go to a distant paradise after we die. And we imagine it must be a wonderful place without suffering. But we know that we need our suffering. We understand the goodness of suffering. We can make good use of our suffering by looking deeply into it, recognizing it and embracing it. In this way, our suffering will transform and increase our understanding, love, and compassion. Our suffering is the compost that enables beautiful flowers to grow. We don't need to find an imaginary place where there's no pain or suffering and where we can finally be happy. We can accept the earth as our homeland. She is a living reality we can touch, see, and experience directly in the here and now. Looking deeply like this, we can overcome the fear of death. We're born from the earth and will return to the earth. Nothing is lost. As the 18th century French scientist Antoine Lavoisier discovered, nothing is created, nothing is destroyed. Everything is a transformation. Energy can be changed from one form to another, but it can't be created or destroyed. We don't need to go anywhere else when we die. We're already carrying the Bodhisattva, Mother Earth, inside us. When we truly have the insight that we and the earth are one, and not 2 separate entities, all fear dissolves. When we realize that the earth gave birth to us and that the earth will receive us again at the end of our lives, only to bring us forth again as a different manifestation, we arrive at a state of non-fear. We know that nothing is lost, nothing is gained. Nothing is born, nothing dies. We're no longer caught in the idea that we're a separate self. We will no longer ask the question, what will happen to me after my body has disintegrated? Where will I go? Will I exist or not? We don't have to wait until we die to return to Mother Earth. In fact, we're in the process of going back to Mother Earth right now. Thousands of cells in our bodies are dying each moment, and new ones are being born. Whenever we breathe, whenever we walk, we're returning to the earth. Whenever we scratch ourselves, dead skin cells fall. We're constantly dying and being born again. There's a continual cycle, input and output, taking place all the time. We are returning to Mother Earth at each moment as a natural part of our life process. Those are Ty's words. Some of my personal comments. Someone once claimed that man is the only animal that possesses an awareness of his own death. Perhaps our memory and anticipation make this true. But considering the great apes and the elephants, I'm not so sure we alone possess such knowledge. Regardless, we humans must accept our own mortality. In the words of that great poet, Bob Dylan, "He not busy being born is busy dying." One underpinning of religion is clearly a denial of death. Constructs such as individual immortality and an eternal paradise apply here. Buddha's key teaching is that suffering results from desire. Desire that one's individual consciousness exists forever leads to suffering. When young, I sometimes panicked when considering non-existence. I once asked a Zen nun to explain this fear. She suggested that in a prior life I'd endured a very painful death. An interesting proposition, but What if there is no individual reincarnation? Fear of death may be the ultimate narcissism, clinging to a separate self. I have never personally watched someone die. Once I heard Elizabeth Kubler-Ross say that, in her experience, those who died best were either very religious or atheists. I'm sure now she'd include observant Buddhists. I've come to believe that nature will provide for us to let go painlessly when the time comes to return to earth. Thich Nhat Hanh helps us overcome thinking of an existence separate from Mother Earth. We are not separate from nature. Life is a transformation. Our small mind will someday return to the eternal big mind. Our ancestors have gone before. Our children will follow after. Meditation and Thich Nhat Hanh's teachings reinforce living the moment, reinforce gratitude, reinforce exclaiming to oneself upon awakening each morning, "It's all good."
Namaste. When someone says, I am a Buddhist practitioner, what does it really mean? For me, here at Live Oak, it means that we aspire to transform our lives into mindfulness. And what is mindfulness? Our beloved teacher Thai answers this profound question this way. The practice of mindfulness is the key to enlightenment. When you become aware of something, you begin to have enlightenment. When you drink a cup of water from Mother Earth and are aware that you are drinking a cup of water deeply with your whole being, enlightenment in its initial form is there. The substance of a Buddha is mindfulness. Every time you go back to your breath and practice breathing deeply in mindfulness, you are a living Buddha. When you are not sure of what to do, you go back to your breath. Breathe in and out consciously and take refuge in mindfulness. Mindfulness of breathing is like your own island. It means you know how to go back to yourself in case of danger, instability, or loss. In chapter 6 of this book we have been studying in the Sangha, I had written 10 love letters to Mother Earth. The 7th letter is titled, Your Ultimate Reality. No death and no fear. Thai writes, Dear Mother Earth, you were born from the dust of the distant supernovas and ancient stars. Your manifestation is but a continuation, and when you cease to exist in this current form, you too will continue in another. Your true nature is the ultimate dimension of reality, the nature of no coming and no going, no birth and no death. This is also our true nature. If we are able to touch this, we can experience the peace and freedom from non-fear. And yet, because of our limited view, we still wonder what will happen to us when our physical form disintegrates. When we die, we merely return to you. Each time we manifest, we are fresh and new. Each time we return to earth, you receive and embrace us with great compassion. We promise to train ourselves to look deeply, to see and touch the truth that your lifespan is our lifespan, and your lifespan is limitless. The letter continues, Dear Mother, we vow to see you as our body and to see the sun as our heart. we will train ourselves to recognize you and the sun in every cell of our body. We will find you both, Mother Earth and Father Sun, in each tender leaf, in each flash of lightning, in each drop of water. Living deeply in mindfulness, we touch our true nature of interdependence and interbeing. The ultimate reality transcends all notions and concepts. It cannot be described as personal or impersonal, material or spiritual, nor as an object of or subject of mind. Ultimate reality is always shining and shining on itself. We do not need to look for the ultimate outside of ourselves. We touch the ultimate in the very here and now. So what I have learned in the last 7 years of meditation practice from Thai and other teachers is that Buddhist teachings are much better understood through a deepened daily practice. It is like saying you want to become a doctor but never pursue medical school. You can keep reading medical books and discuss them with great intelligence, but you are not a doctor until you get your medical training. It's the same with mindfulness. You really cannot sustain its benefits unless you take the courageous step to practice on a daily basis. For Buddhists, this courageous step requires taking refuge in the three jewels, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. And those three jewels are right here at Live Oak every Tuesday nights. Once a month, we recite and study the 5 mindfulness trainings. And for me, these trainings directly reinforce our UU living tradition of nurturing spiritual growth and personal transformation, that we may be inspired with faith and confidence to transform the suffering of the world with love, hope, compassion, generosity, and justice. Thai in his other teachings states that the Buddha that we experience here and now is mindfulness. It has the seed of our Buddha nature in individual and collective consciousness. So the practice of mindfulness is bringing the Buddha to life in this present moment. With mindfulness, we can see the nature of reality clearly. It is not speculation with concepts and words. It is looking deeply. And when you look deeply, the nature of no birth, no death, no coming, no going are revealed to you. And the fear that you may lose this or you may lose that will disappear. You do not have to abandon this world. You do not have to go to heaven for refuge. You do not have to wait for the future to have refuge. You take refuge here and now. The Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha are always available for you here at Live Oak. May this service and the time we spend together be of genuine benefit for ourselves and all sentient beings everywhere. May we each realize the fulfillment of our most meaningful aspirations for Mother Earth with love and compassion. May it be so. Namaste.
Please remain standing and hold hands or otherwise connect in any way you feel comfortable with your neighbors for our benediction and our summaries.
And now, may we go forth, remembering to breathe, being aware of our beautiful planet, knowing that we and the earth are one, that our suffering will ease as we begin to live with mindfulness. As we extinguish our chalice and move out into our community, may we walk mindfully on our earth. And the congregation replies,
We carry